Well, hello everyone. It's Sunday afternoon, and I'm switching gears back to the kingpins on the 60 Corvette. I know the video yesterday on the skid loader wasn't that good, but I just got it out quick. And I always just video edit as quick as I can a little bit and get them out on the air, because if I let them sit around, I know I won't get it done. So let's get at those kingpins. Now, if you remember right, I told you that I had put new kingpins in this 40 years ago and probably had very few miles on it after I did. I had replaced all the front suspension wear part components. But the kingpins, I don't really remember. I might have took those to a machine shop that'd be pressed in. I remember asking my old friend when I was a teenager, and he was my age, what I am now. I'd ask him how he did something in his life, and he'd say, I don't really remember doing it. And I couldn't understand it at the time, but now I do. But at any rate, these were new kingpins, but we took them out because after 40 years, and maybe they were just installed and I had never greased them, but they were very stiff and I couldn't turn them. And if you look at the shaft, not this end so much, but this end, there's a lot of pitting in it. I mean, I could polish it up and show the pitting more, but there's really no reason to. So my stepson and I decided that we'd just put new kingpins in it. The kit is only $84. And also, when we took the kingpins out, these dust covers, snap rings and everything got damaged taking them out. And these are the tapered lock pins to lock the kingpin in place. They also got damaged. Well, I actually had to drill through on them to get it out. So there's only one decision I have to make. Because the bushings were new, I don't know if I'm going to replace the bushings with the new ones. Go through that trouble. It wouldn't be real much trouble, but I'm going to clean them up first and look. I want to look at them close, because I'll bet, well, I shouldn't say it, but I'm guessing, not that there's anything wrong with these, but these, you can see, are rolled steel. You can't hardly see it on the outside, the joint, but on the inside, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's a joint there where the connection is made when they roll it. And I'm wondering if the originals might not be solid bronze bushings. Not that there'd be anything wrong with these at all. I don't think there would be. But I'm just thinking about the trouble of replacing them if I don't have to, more than anything. But I'm going to clean them up. I'm going to clean these up, and if they show any kind of wear, I will replace them. To do that, I'd have to make a tool to fit in here and press the bushings out and press the new ones in. So I'm going to start to clean these up and see what they look like. I'll show you again once I get them cleaned up. Now I think I've made the decision to make a tool to fit it and press them out and replace them, because as you see on the new bushings, and I'm sure the originals are the same, the other ones, there's a hole through the bushing here for the grease, to grease it, and there's a channel around that bushing, so if this hole isn't lined up with the grease fitting, the grease will follow around that channel and go through there. And when you look in there, if you can see where the grease hole is through the bushing, now I'm going to turn this slowly, it doesn't line up with where the hole is for the grease fitting. And if there's hard grease in between, it might not want to take grease properly, or the hard grease in there might shift and plug the hole up. So I think everything we're going through with this car, I think it'd be best just to replace those bushings, seeing we have them. So I want to get at making a tool for pressing them out. I found this piece of material I could chuck and lathe and turn and make a driver out of. But I also found this one socket with a real nice square end on it, and it looks to be just the right size. So I'm going to attempt to press the old bushings out using this. It would save me the time of making that, and I think it's going to work just fine. So let's go see how that goes. Well, let's see how this goes. I have the socket centered on the bushing, and I have the old kingpin going through the other bushing, so it's all got to be lined up perfectly square, so it should drive out real nice, press out real nice. Let's see what happens. Maybe I spoke too soon. There it moved. Now I'm going to turn it around and loosen the other one. As you can see, I could only go as far as this. Now I have to get a collar around there to press it out farther. But first I'm going to move the other one that far. Got to get it centered nice. Let's see how this one goes. Oh, that one moved easier. Now I have to get something behind it so that it has a place to go. Let's see. That's going real good. Now I'm going to say I made the right call by pressing this out. I mean, I could have cleaned this hole out. You see that one cleans out. And I probably would have got grease through there too. But I also had another concern, that the old Kingpin had so much pitting on it. And when we turned it in there, trying to get them to loosen up, we could have worked some of that rust and grit into the bronze material of the bushing. And what happens then is that grit in the bronze material of the bushing would act like a sandpaper on the new Kingpin, which we didn't want. So all in all, I think it's definitely, well, I don't have them in yet, but I think it's definitely the right call to press them out and put in the new bushing, seeing we got them. It's a little more work, but the end result will make me a lot more comfortable. And now I will clean this up and put the new bushing back in this one before I take that one out, because that way I can do the same thing with the Kingpin going through to line up so it's perfectly square when I press it in. That way I shouldn't have to worry about any galling or this starting crooked or anything, because it'll be lining up perfectly square. So that's the next step I'm going to do. Now look at this. Here's the old bushing, rolled just like the old one, steel backing with a bronze face. And here's the new one. Looks basically identical, except for one big problem. I was cleaning the hole up here and thinking about, lining it up, putting a plate in here and pressing it in. And look at this. Ain't supposed to do that. That won't work. Just because it's a new part doesn't mean it's any good. So, and now I'm feeling them. The new one, because what I was expecting is when you press this in the hole, it might tighten up enough that you might have to ream that. Because I think years ago they would be reaming Kingpin bushings after they put them in to line them up perfectly. And I was thinking this might tighten up, that I'd have to either get the sun and hone through them, or get one of my adjustable reamers and ream it. But it's not going to close up any. I mean, it's unusable bushing. And also, it actually feels like it has more play on the new Kingpin, or I can't really tell a difference, I guess. So in the interest of keeping this project moving forward, instead of taking a chance and getting some more bushings that probably won't work, I'm going to put this old one back in, and I'm going to work at cleaning, see if I can make sure I can get grease to go through the other ones without even pressing them out. So there's a kick in the teeth. But yes, they will be getting a phone call. Of course, they'll probably say return the kit, and we just don't have to. We want to keep moving forward on the project. So we need the end caps and the dust caps, and we can put it together. But here I was debating whether I should put the new bushings in or not. Well, and I thought I had decided to do the right thing and put the new ones in. Well, my decision got made for me. That's pretty disappointing. Of course, I remember back when I put these in and all the rest of the front suspension components, I went to the local auto parts store and just bought them right off the shelf. They didn't have to be ordered in the early 70s or the mid 70s, because these are the same suspension components used on the passenger cars in the early 50s. In the local auto parts store, they were only 20-year-old cars, and the local auto parts store had parts on hand for them. So I don't know what FM stands for. If any of you know, that's what's on the back side of this bushing. So I think that's going to be it for today, because I gotta see if I can find or go buy some green Loctite. I want to use sleeve retainer on this when I press it back in. So thanks again for watching. I'll let you know how it goes, and we'll see you on the next step of the project, or on a different project. Bye.